YouTube, it's Mike from Preparedness. This video is about when to bug out, which is a very complex and dynamic question because it depends on so many different things that I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not going to be able to sit here and tell you when. Just not. But I can, however, throw out some ideas of situations that may happen where you might have to, where you might think about bugging out. So everything's gonna be different depending on your AO, your area of operation, where you live, what society is like there, what your population density is like there, what your natural resources are like there, just how sustainable your location is, how defendable your location is. There's so many different things. So basically what you're thinking about is most people's homes are not defensible in the first place. They're just not. Mine's not. I don't live on a fortified compound like a military style big fortress or something like that. Most people's houses are made out of wood, mostly. Some people live in brick houses, stone, stuff like that, where they may provide some ballistic protection, some fire protection, but basically you're not. It's not a viable option. So when do you bug out? Well, another thing is what's the drug issue? What's a crime issue around you? What kind of threats are there? Also, is it a natural disaster? Is your home in a condition that you can stay in? Was it an earthquake that split your home in half? Was it a tornado that lifted your house and threw it 5 miles? Was it a flood that it's floating down the river? So obviously those are reasons to bug out. Those are no-brainers. But a lot of it's going to be complicated. You're going to have to think about what kind of situations are most likely to happen in your area. What kind of threats. If you live in a high population dense area, you're going to have to worry about people. And when people start running out of food or water, rioting, looting, that kind of stuff. What situation is law enforcement in? Rule of law situations. Is there a rule of law? Is there not rule of law? Do you have a place to go to? It's not a good idea to bug out if you have no idea where to go. I talk about that in my bug out videos, about having a location. Hopefully you own it, hopefully you control it, meaning that you are there on a regular basis and you have eyes on, you know who's there, who's around there. Hopefully it's a low population dense area, very low population dense area, and it's defensible, it's in an area where you can produce your own calories, all kinds of things like that. If you don't own it or control it, hopefully you've scouted it, you have an idea and you know exactly where you're going, and that you know routes to and from, you know, have rally points along those routes, you have caches along those routes, you have caches at or near the location, and it's in a location that is very unlikely for anybody else to get to or be at for a very long period of time. Also, you got to think about, am I bugging out at the very beginning of an event, during an event, a long time after the event? Do I have a warning, a heads up of something that's going to happen, and so I can bug out prior to the event? That's optimal. If you have a location, everything's set up, supplies there, caches, food storage, all the things at your bug out location. So you got to think about all these different variables. There are so many different variables that I cannot sit here and tell you when to bug out. That's impossible. Anybody that does, or any channel that does, they're full of crap. They're lying. They're blowing smoke up your you-know-what. And they're probably trying to get you to buy something. To make it so, oh yeah, buy this and you'll be okay. You'll be able to bug out perfectly or bug in perfectly or something like that. That's a load of crap. You guys know I don't sell you BS. I tell you straight up the reality of what there is. And I try to empower you guys to use your own brains and think for yourselves. I don't have all the answers. Nobody has all the answers. Sorry for the light. It's just dark and cloudy and miserable, rainy, cold day here today. And as you know, Pacific Northwest, you can see all the trees in the background. So it gets dark at times. So just bear with me. You might get some nice glimpses of the Puget Sound over here, which is kind of nice. Coming up here, you'll have some nice views, so if you guys want to check out this area, you can do some sightseeing while I'm running my mouth, blabbing to you guys. Situations when you bug out. If you have a high, increased gang activity in your area, if rule of law is deteriorating, sorry. Wow, I can't get that word out today. Anyway, if food and water isn't available in your area, or you don't have a means to procure it, or you have stuff stashed elsewhere, or your main plan is to bug out, those may be options. If your main plan is to bug in, if you live on your bug out location now, awesome. You guys you're way far ahead of the curve. If you're already on your bug out location, if you're already on your self-sustainable homestead, awesome. I'm super jealous of you. I wish I was there. But the fact is, very few people are there. So I want you guys to look up online, look up the threats in your area, what crime is. You guys should already know this, hopefully, if you live, you should be looking this kind of stuff up. What the threats are as far as crime rates, gang activities, stuff like that. Just be aware of your surroundings and what the possible threats are. I don't know what your threats are. As far as natural disasters in your area, they're way different than they are in my area. Your nature threats, not just man-made threats. Do you have wolves in your area? Do you have bears? Do you have cougars, coyotes, whatever, snakes? And those are just little things. Those are things you guys know you have to deal with on a daily basis anyway. But you got to keep that in the back of your mind when you're bugging out, especially. So just think about those things. Prepare if you do have, whether bugging out is your primary or backup or last ditch resort plan, you need to have your bug out routes set. You need to have bug out potential, at least bug out locations scouted. You need to know the area. You need to patrol and scout around the area that you think is a viable bug out location, because you may find it's not a viable bug out location. You may get there and think, oh, this is awesome, this is so rural, and then just over that little hill next to you, there's a cabin or several houses that you just didn't know were there. Or you may find that, whoa, what are these weird looking vans, parked down all these back road dirt roads that are cooking meth. You don't want to be involved with that. You don't want to be anywhere near that. So identify your locations, scout your locations, have alternate routes, at least 3 routes to and from. And I get it, if you're way back in the mountains or woods somewhere, the last distance you have to travel may only be one way in, one way out. I get it, that's okay. But if that is the case, the last place where you merge onto that last route that is a one-way only, find other ways. Keep going down the road. Find a place where you could park your vehicle or whatever it is you're bugging out on and proceed on foot. And find other ways into that location, because you may not be able to get to your location. Plus you should know on foot anyway. And you should have rally points along the way, depending on how long it takes you. And it doesn't even matter how long it takes you. You should always have rally points, alternate rally points, stuff like that for your group, your team, your tribe, or whatever, and plans set in place to meet at certain locations at certain times, leaving, like we do, like I have set up. It's really a good idea, is to have a waterproof container, sealed container, with a notepad, like a Write in the Rain notepad and pen buried, hidden, or something at these rally points. So that what happens if, say, crap happens, your plan is to bug out, your group's plan is to bug out, okay? You're going to have an initial rally point, like where are we meeting up? Then you're going to have an alternate rally point also, and hopefully 3, if not 4, different initial rally points, and then secondary rally points, and then rally points en route. I talk about this in my bug out en route, security en route series. So with that said, okay, alternate or your initial rally point, you're going to have something like this, so you can go there and you can say, okay, I got here, well, there's nobody else here. Well, where do I go? Well, the other people that went there and found that for some reason that wasn't a viable rally point will leave a note on that notepad. Proceed to rally Bravo, Charlie, Delta, whatever, however you name it, however you identify it, stuff like that. But anyway, that's kind of off topic, sorry. We're talking about when you should bug out. So, like I said, I don't have all the answers. I hope this helps you guys a little bit at least. Think about what the different threats are, what might be happening in your area that might cause you to have to bug out. There are so many variables. Like I said, I can't talk about them. You're going to have to think about natural disasters. You're going to have to think about human threats, animal threats, sustainability of your location, as well as anything else you can think of that I may just be totally brain farting on right now and not thinking about. Think about these things, plan for these things, write them down, have plans, build these into your SOPs, your standard operating procedures for your MAG, your group, your team, your tribe, whatever you call it, or your family, whatever you have in place, or just have them written down as your SOP. You need to have these established. So I hope this helps. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Please like, please subscribe, do the thing, comment below. Please add any additional comments that I missed, any additional information. I'm sure I missed some stuff. I just want to get you guys thinking. I want to empower you to think for yourselves, to be able to do the things yourselves so that you can go forward and you can be better prepared. So I love you guys. Have a wonderful day and blessings to you and yours.